Welcome everyone to Straight from the Paws. We are broadcasting our April show, and as you can see, we have a little bunny back there with us. And I'm going to let my director, Arianna, I don't have to introduce her because you all know who she is, and there's my co-host, Beverly, there as well. Ari, you want to talk a little bit about bunnies at Easter time?
Well, I just thought it would be good to talk about them because a lot of families think it's a good idea to get bunnies as Easter presents, which in theory is cute, right? So people go out and they get bunnies and they get chicks and they get small animals. And then within 3 weeks to a month, most of them are getting returned back to shelters or pet stores that they were purchased at. So there's nothing really wrong with having a bunny as a pet. Bunnies actually make great pets, but you have to be committed to their whole life, not just something that's fun because it's Easter. Bunnies are not great for small children because their backs are very fragile. So the little ones want to like pick them up and hug them and stuff, and that can be really dangerous to them. And bunnies also can live up to 10 years. So when you're, what am I going to get my kid for Easter? I think I'll get him a bunny. That'll be cute. Yeah, it's cute, but you're signing up for a 10-year commitment. So if anybody is thinking about doing that, please do your research and make sure that you are going to be able to care for the bunny for the 10 years. Because when we do the show next month, I'll probably have 15 bunnies as they get returned, and people dump them out because they think, they're a rabbit, they can live outside. They can't live outside. They're domesticated rabbits. They don't have any of those skills. So just please be mindful in your choices for Easter presents for your children.
And let's also mention the fact that the cost of a bunny, because I know for a fact, having the shelter here, is that bunnies being spay or neutered it's more expensive.
Yep, the low end, the lowest price in this general area is in Boston at the Boston Spay Wagon, and it's $250. And the high end in this area is $539. It's not a surgery that most veterinarians do, so it's not something that they see often where they say, we do this so often, we can, lower the price. It's a specialized surgery. It takes special anesthesia, and not too many veterinarians do it, so the ones that do charge higher pricing. In our area, there's Pet Partners that does it, Mattapoisett Animal Hospital, the Animal Rescue League in Boston, and Anchor used to do it at Westport. They no longer do it, so it's really tricky trying to find them, the vet that does it. And most people are like, well, why do you want to spay and neuter your rabbit? What's the big deal? Females and both male rabbits can get different types of cancer and different types of infection if they are not spayed or neutered, just like cats and dogs. So again, if you're going to consider adding a rabbit to your household as a member of your family, please do all of your research so you know exactly what you're signing up for, so you can give them the best possible life for how long they live, which is, some people are like, they only live 2 years. No, they live for about 10 years.
Well, and that is a beautiful looking rabbit. I mean, he's very, the eyes are distinct, and the markings, and the nose is great, and the back end, the gray tail, and it's a really nice looking rabbit.
He is cute.
He is cute.
How do you tell the males from the females? Like cats?
Very much like cats.
Very similar to cats.
Yes.
So how many bunnies do we have in the building right now?
We have 7 bunnies right now, 2 females and 5 males.
So the 2 females, we're going to try to get them spayed?
Correct.
All right.
So we do have some rabbits. I hate to admit,
And I saw-
admit
Well,
that.
and that's the thing, we have them now, so I wanted to kind of educate people going forward, and then, if you are one of those families that end up getting one for Easter and it doesn't work out for whatever reason, it's not so easy to just call the shelter in May and say, I want to return my bunny, because we're getting them from all over the place.
Right.
And for us in particular, this is unique because now we're starting the week before Easter with 7 bunnies, whereas this wouldn't start until afterwards.
Right. Great.
So please don't call us yelling when we say we don't have room for bunnies.
Yes.
The other problem that we've seen with the bunnies, like this pile that we have here, if people adopt or buy 2 bunnies, they don't know if they're getting male or female.
Exactly.
And then in about a month and a half, they could have 6 bunnies.
Correct.
And then that could turn into like 12 bunnies in no time at all.
We know they multiply pretty quick.
They multiply pretty quick. So
They do.
you've got to, 1 bunny is fine, but if you're going to go for 2 bunnies, you really need to do your research.
Exactly.
And and not for nothing, but I'll stand up for the staff and say, sometimes we make mistakes.
Yeah, even sometimes the vet makes
Yeah.
mistakes, It's never 100%, unfortunately, with this type of animal. So,
Right.
Same thing with guinea pigs.
the guinea
Right.
pig
Same thing with the guinea
population,
pigs,
right, we
yeah.
had a couple of guinea pigs, and one day we came in, we had like 13 guinea pigs.
Yes.
We didn't know that we were mixing a male with a female, and before you know it, there was a lot of little guinea pigs running around.
Yeah.
They're cute.
They are cute. And I mean, and the same thing, guinea pigs and rabbits, they make really good pets. But what happens is it's new, so for the 3 weeks, the bunny is coming out of the cage, the guinea pigs are getting handled, everybody's interacting with them. And then as the newness wears off, then they're just sitting in the cage. And rabbits can be litter box trained. Rabbits are very interactive pets. They're very, very smart. Bunny people, as I call them, they make these big, huge enclosures for their bunnies inside. Most of them run loose inside because they're litter box trained. You can't just take the bunny and him live in this cage, you know, for the rest of his life and never come out once he's not new anymore.
Right, this
and you're
is
only,
too small.
It's too small, and only what you're gonna get out of the bunny, what you're gonna put in with the bunny. Same with every pet, you know. But they're not a fish in a bowl. They need interaction, and they need time with the family. They can't just stay sitting in a cage.
Well, that's very good advice, and I hope everybody adheres to that and takes it. Now, Bev, would you like to tell us, we have an event coming up in April?
Let's see, is my brain working is the question.
Well, I can help you out. It's at the
All right,
Liberal
so yes,
Club.
we have, in April, we will have a breakfast at Top Shelf,
Oh,
and that is going to be on a Saturday, and the date is
April 22nd.
April 22nd, and the tickets are $25, and I believe it's an all-you-eat buffet,
It's a breakfast buffet. Yep.
and that's from 9 to 11.
Yep, the full bar will be open, so you can have some mimosas, some Bloody
yeah,
Marys.
Bloody Marys.
I think the bartender is actually gonna concoct a special Forever Paws drink, so anybody that purchases that drink, those proceeds will go to us as well. And Top Shelf is donating majority of that ticket money back to us.
And Top Shelf is located where?
On Acushnet Avenue in New Bedford.
Right where the big fire was. That was
Not too far from it.
Yeah.
Acushnet Ave runs 2 different
Very
ways,
long, yeah.
Yep, so if
It's
you're
like, it's like Route 6, it just runs
just
forever
keeps
and ever.
going. So we have tickets here at the shelter, there's tickets at Top Shelf, you can call us, you can Venmo us, you can Facebook message us, and we can help you get tickets for that.
And that's gonna be pancakes and ham and bacon and sausage and eggs,
And home
French
fries.
toast, home fries. So that's gonna be a nice event, I'm looking forward to that. And then second for April, on April 29th, which I believe is a Saturday night, we're going to have at the Liberal Club in the Gold Room, we're having an event called Hypnotist. If anybody remembers way back when, we used to do a hypnotist. We did Frank Santos Jr. We also did years ago his father, Frank Santos. We did that many years ago, I remember that. And we're also having as an opening act, Mr. Michael Mayoza from Fall River, previous city councilor. And he is a mentalist, so he's going to be doing his show. So you're getting 2 for the price of 1. You're going to have a great night, and I call it a comedy night because, hello, got hypnotized a couple of times with Frank Santos Jr., and I left there with a new nickname called Baby Babette, and what I did was like funny, but yeah, no, don't want to do that again. So Bev's going to be sitting in the back of the audience, and I'm going to close my ears so I don't hear myself getting hypnotized and pass out in the back. So that's going to be a hysterical, fun night, I can guarantee you. The more people that come, the funnier the night gets to be.
Yeah, because the more contestant he
Right,
has,
if
the
you have
better
12
off you
people
are.
in the audience, that's not going to work because you need people to come up and volunteer to get hypnotized. And it doesn't hurt you physically, let me tell you, it
But
doesn't
you cry
hurt
a little
you.
bit maybe when you wake up.
No, you only cry if Frank Santos Jr. tells you to cry. That's when you'll cry when you wake up.
And let me just point out also that you don't do anything that you're not comfortable doing. You can never do
That is
anything
true.
that would totally embarrass you.
Right, that
You
is
know,
true.
that is the
Your
way.
subconscious mind, well, like if he told me to kill somebody, you know, my subconscious mind would think about it and then say,
Depending
no,
who it
I don't
was.
think I'll do that. It depends who it is, right?
Depending who it
So
was.
your subconscious mind really will control any of that kind of stuff, but it's a fun night.
And I will put a plug in that if you've never been to the Liberal Club, all beverages have to be purchased there, water included. But I'll tell you, if you like mixed drinks, they do a powerful mixed drinks, and their prices are fantastic.
And you may bring snacks and other kind of food. For instance, if you all want to bring a D'Angelo sub or a hot dog from Coney Island Place, or you want to all have a pizza, you could bring that kind of food in. They don't have a problem with that. because that is not a restaurant. We do recommend you do not go to the Liberal Club restaurant that night. You'll never make it back in time for the show, because they'll be swamped Saturday night. But a lot of people do, they go about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Some people do, and Tricia, who is in charge of the place now, she knows we're coming in, and
Right, we gave her a heads up.
and she's really, excited about it, but, again, she can't put more people on because there's just so many seats in the restaurant.
Right, it's
So,
gonna be crowded.
And they do a lot of takeout stuff now, so
Yes, they
you
do.
could order ahead and take out and then come bring it over as long as you brought your utensils and so on and so forth. So, we would appreciate that. Because of COVID, we used to give out snacks, but we decided we're not doing that anymore.
Right.
Just because of the dynamics of what you have to do. So I think that's important. And I think that, I think you would have a really good time. It's on Eventbrite, correct?
Yep, you can purchase tickets on Eventbrite, the link's on our Facebook page and our website. And I just wanted to clarify that this is a 21+ event, correct? Or
It is.
18?
It can be, yeah. I
It
don't know
should
if we
be.
advertise it
And I
that
did
way.
advertise it, it's either 18 or 21, it's right in the description.
Yeah, you don't want to bring
on-
kids to this, it's adult entertainment, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we're doing, I believe, is in June, date is
What are you looking for?
Yappy Hour McGovern.
I brought a cheat
Oh,
sheet.
she brought a cheat sheet.
I think it's the
So
16th.
we are having an event at McGovern's, and I believe that's a Thursday night, and I believe it's June 22nd.
It's June, no, you always get the date wrong. It's June 15th, and
June 15th.
it's called Yappy Hour and Cattails.
Instead of cocktails, it's cattails. And that's going to be a short event, and it's going to be food with it and dessert. And I believe it's called Stations, where you go to a different station and take the food that you want, and that would be all you can eat.
No.
It's tacos, it's oriental, it's pasta,
We did like
dessert.
all the nationalities.
They did, and I think, and something else too. But there's like 4 or 5. They're doing a really good deal for us. I really appreciate them over there. Kathy and her husband and the mom gave us a good price on it. The tickets are $50, and but right now I don't know. I don't know if we're doing that on Eventbrite too, or if we're doing it on
I don't
just
know
selling
yet.
tickets yet.
I thought you were gonna do it on Eventbrite,
Are
but
we?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
So probably on Eventbrite, that's getting to be our go-to thing.
Yes.
It's a lot easier for us as, workers there. And then we are also going to be having.
Wait a minute, so on that,
Hold that up.
hold that up. So on that event also, we're gonna try to have 10 or 12 themed baskets. We're gonna try to do that, I'm not sure that's gonna happen, so that,
To raffle.
bring some, to raffle. And then, of course, they will also have a bar there as well, and their drinks are very good, is affordable there as well. And,
That's just supposed to be a fun night.
yeah, it's just gonna be a fun
There's
night.
no speeches, there's no,
So she's implying that when I give speeches, it's not fun.
Boring.
Arianna, did you get that, Arianna? When I give the speeches, it's not fun.
so no speeches, hence Gail. And then that's just gonna be a fun night, a social hour.
So I can just
You can just drink. You can just
enjoy the
drink,
beverages, of
Talk
course.
to people, have fun, ask what's going on in the world, and, we can all just get together. And it's a short amount of time, so that would be a fun night.
Yeah, so once it gets all set, we'll have the flyer up and all the
Right,
information.
we'll give it all
online.
that, right.
And
we'll
we're
do
gonna
that.
follow that up with another event in July.
No, don't forget the alpacas. Is it
Oh, I
alpacas?
forgot the alpacas.
Alpacas, I got it right
What
this
day is
time.
the alpacas?
That's June 27th and 28th, or 28th and 29th.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
rain day.
One
Yep,
of them's the rain
first
day.
date is the main date and the second date.
Okay.
All right, and that is
I'll check my phone.
At Hillcrest
yoga with
Alpacas.
alpacas. That was a fun time last year too.
Yeah.
So I know those tickets are what, $20?
$20.
$20. So that's another fun day. And that's like 6 to 7.
Yeah, it's only an hour. It's
It's
in
only an
Dartmouth
hour.
at Hillcrest Alpaca Farm.
And some people think they're doing yoga and all they're doing is petting the alpacas.
It's very fun.
That's a fun night. And then we're following that up with a clam boil at the Elks Club. We just got approved for the date on the Elks Club. And
Yes.
I think it's a Saturday afternoon at 1.
Yes,
And I'm not sure
July
of the date.
22nd.
There's that 22nd that keeps rolling
Yes,
around in my head.
the alpacas are on a different day than what we said, and now I just lost it, so
That's all
just
right,
keep
we'll
talking.
post it. It's coming in June, but we'll post it.
Okay.
And once in a while, we have a few things that we'll be selling there, because it is a fundraiser after all.
June 27th.
June 27th.
It's a Tuesday, and then the rain date is the 28th.
So we do have a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to be very busy with fundraising, as you know. That's what we do, because we have to support all of these babies and the space for these guys, these girls. This is a boy, though.
Okay.
And I don't know, is it
Okay.
a boy or a
I'm
girl?
not sure.
You're not sure. And there's an orange one that I swear is this big.
Yeah, he's a Flemish giant.
Oh
That's
my
a female,
God.
I know that one.
He's enormous, and he's bright orange, and he's huge.
So the reason why I want to explain to people why we're doing so many fundraisers is that we've been in this building for 19 years. Ari, you haven't been here that long, but Bev and I have been here that long.
We've been here before
And
that.
we've been here before that. And so what's happened is, Bev, you want to talk a little bit, not a lot, a little bit about what's going on with the building, what happened in our
If I get
kennels.
too much, go like this.
I will, don't
All right,
worry.
she'll go like that, and then I'll know I have to stop. So the most important thing that's going on right now is called chain link. We have a lot of chain link in our kennels. We also have had, over the 19 and a half years, a lot of dogs in those kennels. And some of those dogs are very strong, and they've been banging on those kennel doors for 19 years. And I've taken some pictures of them. We have them strapped with zip ties. They're all bent and dug in. So we had to hire a contractor to come in and say, can you fix this? And he said, no. He said, what we have to do is replace it. And dollar signs going off in my head. But the bad thing was we had a couple of dogs escape.
Yeah.
The chain link is so bad that some dogs actually got out. So knowing that, we said, well, we're going to prevent a worse escape, so let's get this chain link fixed. So yeah, you need money to do that. So fundraiser, and we've been trying to write some grants. We're trying to get some grants. So when you come to our building, we have an A kennel for adoptions, we have a B kennel for boarding, and on each of those sides there's 20 kennels, so that's 40 kennels. However, there's the outside of those kennels too. So when you add that up, that's 80.
Right.
And that's 80 doors that have to be replaced with chain link. Also, before you go like this.
I'm ready.
I know. In between the kennels, we've always had a giant space. They never put the galvanized poles close to the cinder block. So there's always been a space of 6 to 8 inches. And a lot of dogs can get their paws through there. And
Or their
bite-
noses
Or their
sometimes,
noses. And it causes an issue with some of them. So the new chain link company is putting another piece of galvanized pipe in the middle.
Right.
And it's caused it to be tighter. And we're going to be preventing a lot of problems.
So, and a clarification on that, dogs that escape, but with the great staff that we have, that hasn't been an issue. They've been caught,
no,
they've been
no.
taken care of.
Plus we have a
No
lot of
one's-
security gates.
Right, and no one's been hurt, and we have a lot of things locked up in security. So we're very fortunate and blessed with that situation, so we don't worry about those things. But, you know, the other thing too, with people have to understand, and I try to plug this all the time, and I've probably said it on one of our other shows, is that when Arianna gave me the amount of animals that went through this building last year for 2022, I thought she had made a mistake. So I asked her to please verify to me, and I said, if I came in, could you show me this, how this you verified it? And she did. Not that I didn't believe her, but I just had my doubts.
She didn't believe me.
I did believe you. Now, at first I thought you made a mistake, and then we looked at it together, and 1,500 animals went through this building, and a few extras, but
And a lot of
1,500
those were
animals.
dogs, big dogs.
Well, dogs, cats, rabbits, guinea pigs,
pigs.
birds, pigeons, iguanas, chickens,
reptiles.
yeah.
Is that Sun
Snakes.
Condor still
He
there?
went home to his so the son Kanye was here because it was a death in the family.
Right.
And his family came yesterday together.
Oh,
Oh, I
nice,
was
Yeah,
I was
nice.
saying we
So
could bring
nice.
him in.
Nice,
and
no.
show him.
So,
He was beautiful.
Yeah.
all these animals have been in this building, and I think we were already into March, we were going into April now, and we said the numbers are already higher than last year's coming
we're
in.
averaging like 50 in a month, 50, and then we're also averaging between 30 and 50 adoptions a month. So it's good, but this is supposed to be our slow time, and we had like 3
No.
weeks that were slow.
And this is April, we haven't even started kitten season.
No, and in kitten season we have 17 cats in foster. 2 of them just had babies 3 weeks ago. We have 2 pregos, and we have
Explain pregos.
pregnant.
Pregnant.
Okay.
And then
I think
No,
our
right.
audience is smart
And
enough to
then
They could
figure
be
that out.
chips, prego chips, you know?
and those are Pringles.
Pringles.
And then we have some that are like 4 weeks and 6 weeks. So we already everything is going to hit at once, which goes back to I think where you're trying to go with the finances and why we
Right,
need money,
yeah.
because with COVID and all of the issues, with staffing and stuff going on, all of the veterinarians their prices are through the roof. They're also working like we are, understaffed, working beyond the capacity we're supposed to be working to. So again, with the grants, and why are we fundraising? I mean, on average, it's gonna cost.
Turn it off. You're fired.
It's gonna cost on average about $200 just for a cat spay or neuter, and then it goes up by weight, sex, and then go into the dogs.
Yeah.
So you say 1,500 animals. If we adopted out 600 dogs on an average of say 45 pounds a dog, you're looking at 400 to 600 for surgery. Do the math.
Yeah, it's incredible, and that's why when last year, 2 years ago, I said to Ari, we're going to cut down on small fundraisers because we really thought we could, and to have them all in a row, it just happened to be that Top Shelf was willing to give us a chance, and so Ari said, okay, let's try it. Meanwhile, we're trying to book something else, and I'm just going to give you a sneak preview. Those of you that have attended our celebration of giving in the fall, we have tried to do that. We tried to change that around and upscale it a little bit, and we are not going to do that. I'll just tell you that right now. Well, let me explain that. September 30th is a date. We are going to have it at White's. It's going to be different this year. There are not going to be as many, or if any, speeches again. But I do have, from the people that I've spoken to, they like to know what, like when I say 1,500, people question that, and I can go back and say to them, I have proof. Shelter manager is what we use for our shelter. We can prove that to you. So, people are like, really? Unbelievable. So you have to understand that the lot of work that we do, and when you look at the number of people, staff that we have here, how many full-time people that are staff, and we have, I think it's 8 full-time people, and 3 of them now. No, that's wrong. I just did a grant, and I just put this together. But in other words, 3 people are now office people, because we put the clerk that has to be full-time now, your assistant is full-time, and you. And that's 3 right there. And then the rest, I think, is 6 people that work with the animals. And then as far as part-time people, we have our office manager who is part-time, and then there's 3 other people that are part-time, and one is really what we call per diem. So that's not a lot of people. And in our society that a lot of people are not volunteering anymore. Mm-hmm. So we're having a very difficult time, but we do have some loyal volunteers that continue to come and help us on a weekly basis, we're very grateful for them. And, we're working with, like you said, all those people in foster, the people who are taking the fosters. So it is this is a very busy shelter. It's a very small shelter. Building-wise, but as far as what we do and what she puts out there, it's a phenomenal amount of work. And I think people have to understand that we really care about the animals here, and we're going to give you the best adoption. Arianna and I work on the Google reviews, and it's like become a joke with us. It's like, okay, who answers it first? She gets it, and then I get it, bad review, and 1 star, and I'll say to her, okay, tell me who this is, and she'll say, well, that's because they didn't get the animal. The animal wasn't spayed or neutered. They don't have any medical.
This week, after I answered it, she deleted it.
She deleted it. She deleted the review because we go back and we explain. We have a certain criteria. We don't just come on. We're not a store where you come in and just buy the animal that's cute. You want that animal. We go through a whole big process here, and it takes a lot of time. So it's got to work. That process has got to work, correct? Right. And so sometimes we get people. And so now what we do between Ari and I, we respond back and we say, this is the reason why. I'll even share that I had a lawyer contact me, very upset that their client didn't get a certain animal. And there was justifications. When I went back and explained to that lawyer the whys, she was like, well, that's part of your policy. I said, I know. Well, that's ridiculous. I said, I know.
It was ridiculous what she was saying about the client, not about us.
Why that person was upset that they didn't get it.
That's what was ridiculous.
Right. So it's like, it's a very difficult situation. We try to keep on top of it. But again, I don't work in the building, and Ari's got other things to do rather than look at our reviews. But 4.5 stars on Google, I think, is pretty good. Yeah. I think we're doing okay. But I take it personal. We have, just recently, we had a person that I've known for many years, since when we were on Montauk Street, just sent in for a brick, but then she put out, I would donate more, but your reviews are bad. And I'm like, what? And immediately responded and sent her a letter because I want you to show me what you're talking about, because I respond to, and Ari and I both respond to them. Maybe on Yelp we don't respond because we don't get that in, but you know, we take it personal. I know you do. Because we care.
And it's
absolutely.
Just frustrating because if we're like, and we're not perfect. Like there are a couple of reviews on there that was either miscommunication or misinformation, and that's something. At least it's constructive. We can look at it. We can work at it. We can fix it. But to have people constantly giving us bad reviews because either they didn't get the animal that they wanted or they weren't approved for adoption because they didn't meet our criteria. And I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, our criteria is not that difficult. You have to fill out your application, you have to fill out all the information we require. Your animals have to be up to date with vaccines. Your landlord has to say yes. You can't be allergic to dogs and then adopt one. I mean, it's very...
Like rabbits.
So if someone is actually denied for adoption, the most common reasons are their animals are not fixed and up to date with vaccines, or they don't have a vet history, or they lied about who their landlord is, or they left half of the information blank and we try 3 times and then we disregard them, or if they are approved and they're picking an animal that is not suitable to their lifestyle, we're not going to put an animal in a place that is not conducive, because that's no good for the person, because it'll turn the person off from owning an animal and adopting from a shelter, and it'll traumatize the animal from having to come back. So those things, while I understand it is frustrating for someone who is trying to adopt, they just kind of have to understand, like, this is our policy. Like, you're not going to go apply for a car and not bring your pay stubs.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can't give you an animal if it's going to cause you health concerns. We can't give you an animal that doesn't have a history with small children and you have a 1 and a 2-year-old at home. So just ask people, if you have questions, we're always willing to discuss them. We do have our policies. Our policies are in place for safety reasons, and to protect the animals in our care. If you're going to leave us a bad review, please keep that in mind, and don't let your frustration hurt the animals, because the bad reviews aren't hurting the people they're mad at for not giving them the animal. They're hurting the animals in our shelter, because people are reading reviews and basing one person's review against the whole shelter. So it's not fair.
And I want to jump in on what she said.
I'm running out of time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm running out of
I just want
time.
to say, if someone doesn't get an animal because the animal's not spayed and neutered, they can always get that fixed and get vaccines.
Correct.
And then they can...
Right, and we ask if there's a medical reason for that animal.
Yeah, and if there's a medical reason, we tell them, we talk to their vet about it. There's always a loophole. You just have to, put everything forward first and understand.
Right. So we have to cut, and both of them said to me, well, what are we talking about today? I said, follow my lead, and of course they did, and we did fine. I hope we gave you a lot of information, a lot of things to think about. Please follow us on Facebook, and if you like us, please give us a great review on Google and Yelp. And if you have a problem, let Arianna and I know, and we'll try to resolve it and take care of it. So again, thank you very much for viewing our show, Straight from the Paws, and hope to see you again.